Hey, 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 we are live. This is Dr. Tina G. Lewis, and I just want to say welcome to guess what? Our 17th, did I say 17th? Our 17th Sunday Speaker Series of 2023. I am here with none other than this gentleman who is a beast when it comes to money. I promise you, I think that his face is somewhere on every dollar, every tender, somewhere. I know it is. I know if we look under the magnifying glass, I will find the Corey Chapman, his face there somehow. He has the blueprint, he has the strategy to generate massive wealth. And for those who have followed his teachings, his coaching, his strategies, they not only know how to make money, they know how to keep money. And when they lose it all, they know how to go ahead and get it right back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say welcome to the 17th, yes, the 17th 1-7 series of Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers, coming to you live from Madrid, Spain. We had an incredible event. I'm going to tell you more about that. But before I do, I'm going to move to the background. I'm going to move the Corey J. Chapman up to the forefront. Corey, how are you?
I'm good, Tina. How are you doing today?
Absolutely incredible, excelente. You know, I'm in Spain, so I'm bilingual. I'm a Madrino now, right? I'm Spanish right now. So Corey, I am amazing. I actually am here in Madrid, had an incredible event, but I did some little touring and I was able to see from the outside. I'm going on the inside tomorrow, but the the palace, the royal palace, I was able to get history on Spain. And what I've learned have been just eye opening. You know, I love geography. I love dwelling and diving into the culture of the people and of the places in which we visit. Had some phenomenal speakers, women from all over the globe, South Africa, the UK, the States, of course, also Singapore, China. It was unbelievable, Corey. And so I just want to do you to do two things. One of all, this is women's, right? This is all about women, global women speakers. So I would love to give homage to your beautiful wife, Delilah Chapman. She is incredible. I love her. She is my sister, as you already know. I appreciated you inviting me to your home for her 50th birthday party, even though she looks 34, if that.
Yeah, right.
So I have to pay homage to her. Hey, Delilah. If you watch if you watch the replay, you will see that we said hey to Delilah. You guys will meet Delilah one day. But really quickly, I know we're going in time, so I just want Corey to introduce himself. I can tell you, I've known Corey since wow, maybe I don't know, 2009, 10, somewhere around there. But I can tell you he's grown on me. He is my brother. I can tell you this. He is a man of valor. He is a man of integrity. And he's absolutely a man of expertise. He's been in his lane for over 30 years. And I could tell you, you know how they say you have to have 10,000 hours for expertise? Let's just say if expert is 10,000 hours and the next level was mastery, let's say he's mastered the money game. So with that being said, Corey, just introduce yourself to these ladies, and then I have a couple questions for you. Corey,
Sure,
over to you.
sure, guys. Well, first of all, my name is Corey Chapman. I'm a personal finance coach. I travel all over the world speaking about finance and money, and more importantly, how to create wealth when you know that it's the right time to do it. So we specialize in, helping people understand what it takes to become successful in life. So our business platform, as well as my coaching platform, is all about becoming more. And being more is more than just, learning about what it takes to get from one level to the next level, but it's also about inner peace and inner learning about who you are as an individual. So we tie all that together into money and kind of show people how to go out and do it.
Wow. I absolutely love that. So Corey, I have a question. And one of
Yeah.
the questions is attaining or procuring money, is it a different system for women than it is for men?
Huh. I tell you, sadly to say, it is right. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder for women, at least in the workforce, to kind of get paid the same as men out there. But I tell you, I find that women seem to do better at attaining things out there and getting more to it because at the end of the day, they're driven. They're driven. They're nurturers by trait. They know what they want. They're usually a little bit more stable in understanding what they want. So I believe that women can get out there and make it happen sooner than a lot of men. But actually, a lot of my clients are probably in the women's field, and they do pretty good at growing their assets and building. They're very much detail oriented, so it makes a big difference.
Well, I actually believe that as well. What I do know is that women, I just think about my mom and other women that I have had the privilege of encountering. They can take a little and make a lot. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
that through the centuries, women have been given very little, but they made it a lot. And when a husband works and brings home the bacon, they don't just make breakfast, have a bacon and ham, bacon and eggs breakfast. They literally make dinner, they make snacks, they make dessert, all of the little bacon that he brought home. So I absolutely believe that. And you're right. If we don't make the income, then it's kind of difficult for it to amass that wealth. And so I'm a strong believer of literally taking something and multiplying it, right? Exponentially, not adding, definitely not subtracting. So I love the fact that you say, yeah, it is something different. And so since we're speaking to women around the globe, this is Global Women Speakers. We have women from all over the world. We're the number one platform for women to
Mm-hmm.
share their message and to sell their products and their services literally around the globe. We were just in Paris in February. I'm here coming to you live from Madrid. And where we're going in May, OMG, we're going to India. We're going to be locally in Atlanta. We're going to be in South Carolina. We're going to be in Los Angeles as well as Alabama. I'm super excited. Yay, we have Shanae coming in from Arizona. She says, hello. There's a Facebook user that says, hello, everyone. If you're watching this on Facebook, I want you to give StreamYard permission. Go to facebook.com. I'm sorry, go to StreamYard.com, StreamYard.com/Facebook, and give it permission to use your photo as well as your name. And that way we can give you a shout out. I see we have Dr. Venetia Williams all the way from London, UK. Hey, Venetia. We have Dr. Rita Renee says, yes, she's a money lady. Matter of fact, Rita Renee, if you are available to come on StreamYard, I would love to have you as well with Corey. Yes, Shanae says, yes, the number one platform. You're absolutely correct, Shanae. Absolutely. She said, that's Coach Don. All right, awesome. Angela Moore, the queen of etiquette, says, hello, everyone from LinkedIn. Ladies, thank you for joining us with the Corey J. Chapman. I call him the money master. He definitely is. So really quickly, Corey, speaking of, it's going to take women longer to amass the wealth that we chase from our male counterparts. Can you tell us, give us some steps of, just give us like 3 steps that women can actually do actionable right now, starting today. Just 3 steps that we
Sure.
can all do to, I would say, to catapult us or to give us a head start. So Corey, over to you.
Yeah, I think with anybody, right? So whether women or young children coming up, it's just getting started sooner than later, right? So the goal here is really sitting around the table and figuring out where it is that you want to go, right? So first and foremost, build a plan. What does that plan look like? So see yourself and where you want to be at in the future, whether it's 5 years, 10 years down the road, and kind of figure out what the numbers look like. The very first thing you want to always think about is what it is and what does it take to become successful financially, right? So if you know for a fact that you need to have X dollars that you're trying to get to by a certain time period, whether it's 5, 10 years down the road, that should be the starting point. Now that we know where we want to be at, now we got to work backwards and figure out how do we get there. So once we do that, we want to start looking at what do we spend our money on a day-to-day basis. The biggest thing that most people don't realize is that we spend money all the time without really choosing where money is going and figuring out how often that money is going out. If we don't know what we're spending our money on, how do we know how to control where the assets are going? And more importantly, how do we control how to grow that money, right? So the first thing you want to do after you figure out the steps of where you want to get to, the second thing you want to do is figure out what you're spending your money on to. It's so important to understand understand where your money is going. Once you figure out where that money is going, now it's all about the income sources. How much money we get from doing what we do, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's your current job, day-to-day basis. What money do we put away on a monthly basis? And then where do we put that money to get it to grow? Am I buying real estate? Am I getting involved in investments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, things of that nature? Am I going out there and pouring money into new business ventures that I want to do to kind of generate revenue? Once you get that down, it's all about the income source and how often that income source comes in. When you nail that down to a fact, now it's time to start building. Now it's all about analyzing what you've done. You know exactly where you want to be at. You know exactly what it's costing you every month to do something, and you know where your income sources are coming from. Once you get that now narrowed down, now it's all about repositioning and moving money around as need be to get better rates of return. And then that's all about educating and getting yourself more educated about where you can go to build more wealth.
Did not tell you he was a master, like mic drop. I'm here taking notes. You know, he talks really fast. You know, Corey, you're the master, right?
New York.
You do this with your eyes closed, right? This is like breathing to you. The next question is like, just reiterate those 3 steps because people were taking notes. Matter of fact, you know, we have Dr. Rita Renee. She's going to be joining us shortly, but she says, yes, membership has its privilege. That's right. Global women speakers bringing the best of the best 7-figure income earners and above, giving their knowledge, their mastery, contributing. No one's paid to be here. No one's getting paid or paying to be here. These are people who are living a life of significance and contribution because we all can make money doing anything, period. Right. But at one point in our lives, we transition from being successful and making money to living a life of significance and contribution. And that's where Corey J. Chapman is. He and his beautiful wife, they are in a space of contribution. And that's why he's here tonight, because literally, ladies, he literally just walked into the home, his house from his day. And I called and said, hey, I need you here. And I can tell you this, that's why he's my brother. He showed up. And I can tell you when he shows up, he's going to show out. So I want you to do me 2 favors. Number 1, grab a pen and paper. I want you to take notes. This is advice that he charges for. This is something you would be paying an investment for. So take copious notes, meticulous notes. Number 2, is I want you to not listen to this by yourself. Get your spouse, your husband, your wife. Matter of fact, grab your kids. Grab that girlfriend that you always grab to go shopping and pulling out those credit cards with. The ones that you go to buy drinks and you're really only going to spend 20, but you end up spending 200 on drinks and snacks. I want you to invite someone else, tag someone, bring someone along, because sharing is caring. It's all about us edifying each other. You are your sister's keeper. I have already invited a couple people. Go ahead and let's show up for Corey. If you're inside the Facebook group, I want to see some explosives. I want to see some hearts. I want to see some thumbs up. I want to see some emojis. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, I need you to tag Corey, because I need the entire LinkedIn community to literally know who he is. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hashtag Corey, CORY. Hashtag Corey, CORY. Ladies, I'm stoked out of my mind that I have him here. And so what I want to do is I want to open it up for questions. If any of you that are watching, you have questions, put them in the chat. We're going to answer. But as of right now, Corey, we want you to reiterate those 3 steps. Someone said, talks really fast. So reiterate those 3 steps for women to amass wealth, where they can start right now and doing something different, so they can have something different. Corey, back over to you.
Seriously. So guys, let me slow it down for you. So first and foremost, come with a plan, right? The first thing you're gonna start doing about it is figure out where your end is in mind, right? If you know that you want to build up a certain amount of money because you want to put your kids through college, or maybe you want to buy your first home, or maybe you're thinking about going out and getting your first business off the ground, you got to come up with a certain dollar amount and figure out what that dollar amount is. Once you've invested and figured out exactly what that dollar amount is that you want, now that's part of where the plan starts, okay? We have a finite number that we have to get to. Now it's all about getting to that next point. So the second thing what you want to do is figure out the expense involved, right? So let's say, for example, maybe you're trying to get yourself out of debt. You've been paying on those credit cards that Tina was just talking about, and you needed to figure out how to pay off those credit card debts as soon as possible. The one thing I always tell clients is that the way I look at paying off debt is like it's almost an emotional game, right? when you start thinking about money, you got to figure out, you got to have some kind of win out of the game. A lot of times when people are paying down debt and trying to get paid off, the first thing they think about is, okay, I'm going to put a little bit on every card and hopefully get it paid off over time. What ends up happening is over time, you start getting frustrated because you're basically not paying off anything and you're just paying a little bit on these cards, but you're not seeing a win out of it. So psychologically, at the end of the day, you're kind of getting more and more frustrated around it. So the thing you want to do first and foremost is go after the credit card that has the highest interest rate with the lowest with the lowest bill on it, right? So the lowest balance on it. Once you figured out what that card is, pay more money to that card while paying the minimums on the other cards so that you can finally pay that first card off. Why do we do this? Well, the reason why we do this is because psychologically you went from maybe 3 cards down to 2 cards, and that gave you an emotional win, right? As you build that emotional win, now it's easier to go and shift all the money that you were paying on that first card and shift it over to the second card and start paying more money on that while still paying the minimums on that third card. What ends up happening is you took the money from the first card that you were paying off that's now paid off, apply it to the second card, plus additional money to that second card, and now you're knocking that card out. And eventually, as you do this, you're knocking down your debt faster, and you're getting an emotional win at the same time while you're doing this. So ultimately, as you're starting to play this game of money, right, you're starting to win the game, and that's what's most important. At the end of the day, when it comes to dealing with wealth and it comes to dealing with money, it's all a game. Money is nothing more than a game. And if you learn how to play the game well, you can win big. So once I finally decided to do that, right? Yes, it's the snowball effect. Exactly. And as you started playing this game, then once you decided how to pay that debt off, now it's all about the income. Where are your sources of income going to come from? Are you doing side hustles? Are you getting revenue from your current job and you have excess spendable assets that are surplus that you can use to be able to put away into certain types of accounts? Or are you out there just basically making check to check? At the end of the day, you've got to find a way to generate more revenue, whatever that is that you're going to do it. But once you get that money built up, now it's all about finding the best place to put that money at to generate the best rate of return, the interest, right? We want to earn interest on our money. The more that we earn on our money, the faster the compounding effect starts to work. So it's important to find the right vehicle to put money into. Now, here's what I always tell people when they first start out and start to grow their wealth, right? They got to be very diligent about educating themselves. Do your homework, right? What's so amazing right now, we live in an informational age right now where you can pretty much find anything out there. But be understanding that at the end of the day, as you do this, learn and put it into effect. See, knowledge is power, but only when action is taken. And so ultimately what you want to figure out is what it is that you want to put your money into that can help it build over time and help you exponentially go faster so you can accelerate your winning game. Is that good, Tina?
All right. So, Corey, I was actually letting Rita Renee in, Dr. Rita Renee. She is another person that's into finance, but she's a woman, so she may have a different standpoint.
Sure.
And so, yes. And so people are like, wow, you talked about beginning with the end in mind. I love that book by Stephen Covey, right? Began with the end in mind. And number one, when you said to have a plan, number two, calculate the expensive, what's involved. And I love that you shared about paying off that credit card. Just don't do like I did, ladies. Confession. I have a small credit card. The limit is only $5,000 on it. It's a Discover. And I'm like, I'm going to pay it off. I'm going to pay it off. And I started seeing my available balance. And next thing you know, I started using it again. Like, like, okay, Corey, how can I not do that? It's so funny. It was my smallest card, right? I have cards, $25,000 limit, $30,000 limit. And I'm like, I'm going to pay off the smallest one first because I hear that there's a balloon method where you can go after the largest one first, or what you said, which is the most practical one to give you those emotional wins immediately. I'm like, I'm going to just pay off the small one and then I'm going to put it away. But Corey, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I started using that card and that card only. Like, yeah. So that was crazy.
Well, Tina, let me tell you another way to look at it, right? So remember I said at the beginning, money is a game, right? And it really is truly a game, because here's what I want you to get out of that, right? So if you're using your credit card as a way to just pay things off and then you pay that credit card off at the end of every month, perfect. Best way to use it. You get the free points that you add up as far as traveling and vacationing and things of that nature. Great way to use it. But if you're using a credit card because you don't have the assets to cover something, that's the worst way to do it. Because here's why. Most credit cards have an interest rate somewhere between 18 to 27% interest, right? So let's think about that for a second. If we're saying we're playing a game with money, if all of a sudden I had to pay off a $5,000 debt that now has a 28% interest rate on it, think of how much you'd have to earn in order to cover the cost of that payment, right? The crazy part about it is if you went to a financial advisor, if you went to a personal finance coach, if you started investing on your own, you would have to get a 28% rate of return in order to break even with what you're paying on the credit card. Wouldn't it just make more sense to keep everything and paying everything off in cash and being able to knock it out and then using that same amount of money and go out there and put it into something that generates money? And as it generates money, use that money, the interest that you're earning, to keep paying down on the things that you want to have. That's the best way to build your assets up, because now you're not consuming, right, debt. You're actually using the actual interest that you're earning on your investments to help pay for the lifestyle that you want. See, that's what wealthy people do, right? We focus our attention on how do we make more money that covers our lifestyle the way we want to live, about residual cash flow that keeps coming in, because at the end of the day, that's what we're focused
Boom, boom, and boom. I love it. So yeah, so I would pay it down, see the balance, and go spend it. And when you say money is a game, you're absolutely correct. Because if you play the money game properly, for the cash flow quadrant, right, the game
on.
by Robert Kiyosaki, there's a group that love to play the game. And I think that's a game that we should all give our kids in addition to, Monopoly. And I think as adults, we should still play the game because it literally is a money game. And so we have some people, we have Dr. Okay, she said, wow, I love it. Rita is tagging people. Rita's in the back waiting to get in. She's like tagging people like, hey, come on in, come on in. I love it. I love it. So what I would like to do now, because we want two different perspectives, because for some reason it seems like men has all the answers. Men have all the answers when it comes to money, and that's why they're the most wealthiest. And the statistics that was shown this weekend, we had an amazing speaker that talked about money. I love her. Her name is Pauline. And Pauline talked about money, and the stats that she shared were staggering. It was unbelievable the amount of women that do not have wealth, not just in comparison to men, but just the numbers. The math is not mathing. And so at that very moment, Corey, I made a conscious decision that I'm going to make sure that part of Global Women Speakers, we will have financial education. We will make sure that it's women that start to create that multiple six figures, that 7 and 8 figure income, and to bring them nothing but the best. We had Kate Hancock, who is a beast when it comes to money. She took $20 and turned it into $20 million from Amazon arbitrage. She has 3 hotels, not one, not two, 3 hotels in the Philippines. And now she's traveling the world speaking about, Web 2.0. She is unbelievable, but she's an anomaly. And so I'm going to make a conscious effort for myself, not just to provide the education, but to actually execute it, apply it to my financial life so I can be a testimony and do the things that I hear, right? We always say, hey, if you don't like what people are saying, eat it like watermelon. Eat the red meat, but spit out the seeds. So if you don't like what you're hearing, or if it's not vibing or aligning with what you've been taught, because we have some people that are Dave Ramsey fans, and they will live and die by what he says. And I am not. Some of the things are good and they're applicable to my life or to my people, and I apply those. But the ones that are not, it's okay. You don't have to argue. Just take it like watermelon. Eat the red meat and spit out the seeds. And so I'm going to bring in Dr. Rita Renee. She is a financial advisor as well, because we want to get some, we want to actually get some, literally some perspectives from a feminine and a masculine, a male and a woman, because sometimes I believe that there's going to be a common denominator because we're talking about the game. It's money. People play it different, right? It's just like traveling. You can take different routes. But what I want for me and my financial health is I want the fastest, not necessarily the safest, but I want the fastest. I am a risk taker. There are some people that are not risk takers, but I want to make more. So I don't mind taking a risk because I know that if I take a loss, I have a skill set where I can go and make more. But most importantly, I have multiple streams of income. So if one is plummeting, the other one is going to skyrocket. And so we have in the back, Carlton says the snowball effect. Absolutely. Good stuff, Corey. I love it. Yes. Thank you, Carlton, for that. Good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and let in the Rita Renee. Rita Renee, are you in the background? Rita, are you there? Are you there? You're on mute, Rita. The good stuff is always said on mute.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Dr. Rita Renee. I want you to introduce you to the money master, Corey J. Chapman himself. I want Corey, you to meet Dr. Rita. Dr. Rita is a premier member of Global Women Speakers. She's a financial advisor. She's amazing. She just was in Las Vegas with me, volunteering at the Icky Woods Golf Tournament because membership has its privileges. And the five C's of Global Women Speakers is one, culture. John C. Maxwell says culture will eat vision for lunch. Number two, charity. Yes, there are different causes. We volunteer for whatever the cause is. We are here to serve. Number three, community. Yes, we're a community of not like-minded, but like-hearted women, traveling around the world, sharing our messages, selling our products and our services literally around the world while creating a lifestyle that we do not need a vacation from. Number four is, guess what? Communication. Communication is important. It's the crux of any relationship. You must communicate. And number five is collaboration. We collaborate with women around the globe. Speaking of collaboration, Global Women Speakers is going to Johannesburg, Africa. We're going to South Africa, the end of August 30th to September 2nd. We've been invited to speak at the University of Johannesburg. There's more to come. All I got to say is that this is your time. It's not just your time, it's your turn. And you know what? You can have it on your terms. Right now, we're talking about money with Corey J. Chapman. He is the money master. And we brought in Dr. Rita Renee because we wanted two perspectives. So with that being said, Dr. Rita Renee, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited and honored to be here with you, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Rita Renee, all the way from North Carolina. And I'm a co-owner of Gibson & Gibson Licensed Financial Professional. Me and my husband own our own brokerage. I'm a nurse by trade, so I've been a nurse for over 30 years, but I got introduced to the financial industry in 2015. And it was a no-brainer for me because I saw the correlation between health and money. Because when you don't have money, you don't have options. You have to settle. And so it was a no-brainer for me to merge the two. Since I care about people on a health side, I said I can help them on their wealth side.
Very cool. Yeah, like that.
So thank you, Dr. Tina, for allowing me to partake in this discussion about money. And so we're on a pause. So I'll just go ahead and say I ditto everything that you were talking about as far as saving. One of the things that I love to educate, we do monthly educations, Women in Wealth, at our office once a month. And we talk about how can you have different avenues to build wealth. And one of the things I believe wholeheartedly is that you need to have multiple streams of income because you don't know when those streams, which stream is going to actually stop. And so if you have more than one option, you can continue to build, and you can continue to save, and you continue to have a legacy for your loved ones. One of the things that I talked about before I was on My Carolina is about how the mindset of the wealthy are. There's a lot of people who are actually wealthy out there, but you wouldn't know it because they don't wear it. They don't drive it. They don't actually live in it. So one of the 5 things that I say, if you want to become wealthy, first of all, everything that you say, you got to have a plan. But number 1 is to, when you make big purchases such as a house, try to live within your means. I think a lot of people make purchases because they see what the Joneses have, or my cousin or my uncle. I've been around relatives that done that. I had to get the bigger house, right? But a lot of times the wealthy, they'll just stay in something that's very manageable, because the bigger the house, the more responsibility, right? The second thing I would say, big purchases. If you can afford to make the purchases, one of the things when I went to Paris, France, I have always wanted to go to Paris, France, but there was something that I always planned for. And my husband and we had a conversation. Okay, when you go, you can spend this amount of money, right? I didn't go outside of my means, right? So one of the things when you're making purchases, don't purchase things just because you want them. Purchase them because you can afford them. If you're going to purchase something big, and it's going to be an investment, right? Something that it can carry on as a legacy. You can pass it down. A lot of times we make these purchases, right, and our kids don't want no parts of it. And it can cost a lot of money. It can be expensive. You think about those antique cars. These kids don't want none of that stuff. They want stuff that's brand spanking new. So make sure that you're purchasing something that's going to be an investment, but you can afford it and keep up the payments. And then the other thing is, if you can wait until it goes on sale, I believe in sales. I'm the first one. If I go to a store, and I haven't been in a mall in a long time since COVID, because everything is so easy coming right to your door. But if I did go to the mall, if I did purchase something, I'm going to wait until it's on sale. And I'm going to tell you why, Corey. I used to own a boutique, and I know how much these things really cost. They don't cost that much. These garments do not cost as much as people are paying these full prices. So I don't pay full price for anything.
Well, you know what, Rita? That's a pause moment. So, Corey, you are into money and you have a wife. Let's talk about the household shopping habits, Corey. Do you have any, we'll say rules, but we don't mean it in a monarchy kind of way? Do you have any money rules that you and your wife have set for your household?
Yeah, honestly, we don't. I mean, so I appreciate everything you were just saying, right? Which I love everything you said, especially when it comes to buying above your means, right? I think at the end of the day, purchasing that home just because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses definitely is not the way to go, for sure. But on the other spectrum, when you say wait for things to go on sale, I'm a firm believer that what we try to invoke on our kids is we want to teach them about not being scarcity, right? A lot of us were raised with family members who told us save, don't spend. And you heard all the time of, we can't afford that, or we don't have that right now, or, maybe wait till later when we get the money. And that starts to build almost like a culture of people in that scarcity mindset, especially when you're raising children, right? So with us, what we try to do instead of that mode, we're in a space where we really try to find a way how to do it, right? So instead of saying we can't have it or we're waiting for it on sale, we try to figure out, what do we need to invest in to generate enough money to give us what we want at the end of the day, right? So if it's buying that new house, right, what do we need to do in order to generate the down payment for that new house or that rental property or whatever it might be? If I was going out and buying something, just something lavish because it was a new car or whatever it might be, what do we need to do in order to generate that revenue to give us that opportunity to be able to buy it? So what we try to instill in our kids is really about figuring out the way to generate the money for what it is that you want, instead of having them feel like they got to wait till it goes on sale or when it comes up, because sometimes it doesn't go on sale, right? Sometimes it may take longer to get to that point. And, we live in a society where everything is instant, right? We want it right away. We can't wait any longer, right? So then figure out the way to come up with the solution. So for me, I think that's kind of what our part of our process is, and kind of what we believe as far as our system and our wealth management strategies.
There you have it. Two different perspectives. I love it. And if you think about it, because of the background of both of our guests, they have different perspective in regards to money. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And so our next question that I would love for both of you to answer. So Corey says, hey, they don't have rules when it comes to money in their home. And that's good to hear. Oftentimes you'll hear, especially the husband, be like, oh no, she spent too much. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's all the don'ts. But I love the fact that they focus on the how. Like, how can I make this happen?
Right.
What is it that I need to do to generate the money to buy this, to go here, and to go there? And Rita, I'm so happy you didn't go above your budget when you were in Paris, because I can tell you, I don't even have a budget, and that is my downfall. So I know for a fact that I need to have a budget. And so Corey and Rita, I need you guys to help me get a budget. Like, literally, people have been telling me for years, literally over 20 years, get a budget. And I still to this day do not have a budget.
Well, you know what, Tina, it's funny because I think when people think of budgets, they think of it as a negative thing, right? We're like, oh, you're stopping me from doing something I love to do, right? And
Okay.
so the word budget means that they're going to have to constrain themselves from doing something, right? I think instead of calling it a budget, call it a plan, right? Because your plan is really what you're trying to create. You're trying to come up with a way to how to get the things to do what you want to do with it and get the result that you want. That's ultimately what you're trying to accomplish, right? It's not curtailing what you can spend money on. You know what your limits are. When you were talking about the husband telling the wife that they can't spend money, that's not going to happen in my house, okay? So my wife will spend what she wants to spend, okay? So it is what it is, okay? Instead, I think what the conversation should be is that, in a relationship, in a marriage, we have mutual respect, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't hurt me or hurt her individually. It hurts us as a whole, right? And we are a common goal, and we're a one unit, right? At the end of the day, if she blows a lot of money, or more likely if I blow a lot of money, right, then it'll hurt us as a household, right? So I think the first part has to be about mutual respect with each other and how much you believe in each other and how you're going to always respect each other, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. So it shouldn't be about someone having permission or not having permission. It's a mutual respect, right? And this is our household. If I blow and don't handle my money properly, it affects both of us, not just me.
Wow. I love it. I mean, that's wisdom right there. That is totally wisdom. It's totally perspective as well. There are some married couples, and I'm not at liberty to talk about married couples because I am single. So I never give advice to people who are single. I never speak on topics that I'm not an expert or master or have an extensive depth of knowledge about. So you both are married, so I can ask you guys this question. So, so Rita, what is your husband's take on you spending money?
And you know what? I am so surprised with Corey's answer, because that's my husband's approach. He literally, he wants me to be able to be free to get what I want. And I love what Corey said, because in my mind, even though I have that liberty, I think about, do I want to overwork my husband? Because we're in this relationship for a long time. There's longevity. Do I want him to work the rest of his life to pay off everything because I'm out spending money? So there's always a pause. And I love your mindset and what you said about looking at a budget. It's a plan. So that's how I look at it. That's how I teach. What is your plan? And we can have our pause breaks in our spending. So that's how I approach it. You go ahead. If you want to spend, fine. But let's have some pause breaks so that we can get to our goal. If our goal is within a quarter, next year, 5 years, whatever, let's have some pause breaks so that we can accumulate and save. So I'm with Corey on that one.
And Dr. Rita, I appreciate you said that, because the thing you said there that I think is probably super important is the part about when you're pausing, right? Like you said, pause, break from shopping. What the concept should be all about is, how do we win, right? How do we get to that next level, right? So if we're constantly spending and putting money in somebody else's pocket, how do we win? How do we get to the next level? We can't. So at the end of the day, it should be that conversation, that Friday night date night. And part of that Friday night date night is talking about how we win the game of money. right? What are we going to do on a day-to-day basis? My wife and I get together and we talk about how do we win, right? What's the next thing we're trying to accomplish, right? How do we get to that next level in accomplishing the thing that we want out of life? Whether it be buying a new property, buying some kind of real estate, downsizing, upgrading, whatever it's going to be, it's that money conversation that you have in the household, and it's all about how we win that next level. And so I think when you were talking about that pause, I wrote a book called Pause, exactly what it was called. And it's like sometimes you have to stop and take a moment and look at a different perspective, right? Because that perspective may be a totally different way on how to get to that next level. And you never thought about it because you were so busy running after something that had nothing to do with what you guys wanted.
I love it. You know what? That's powerful. And that's why here on our Sunday speaker series, we have a pause break, Corey. And it's not a monologue. It's definitely not even a dialogue. It's a trilogue, a qualogue. It's all of those things. And so we do a pause break simply to slow down and back up so people that are listening can hear the nuggets, the value, the real meaning, so they won't just hear the words, but they can also hear the music of what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Tina D. Lewis. I am the founder of Global Women Speakers, the #1 platform for women entrepreneurs to share their message and sell their products and their services on stages around the globe. And this is our Sunday speaker series of 2023, where we bring nothing but the absolute best, the experts, the masters, the senseis of their respective industries to share messages with you. I want you to tag someone. I want you to bring someone in to this live, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or maybe on LinkedIn. The reality is that it's going down right here, right now. And the information you're getting, I can tell you, it's Wall Street, it's Merrill Lynch, it's it's the best of the best. These are two experts in the field. I've known Corey for a very long time, and I could tell you that everything that he's saying right now is what he lives. It's not what he says. It's definitely not what he just read. It's not what he heard. It's absolutely what he practices. And so I'm honored to be able to have him still on this Sunday speaker series. It is our 17th series, and I'm super ecstatic. And so I have a question for both of you. And because at one time of your life, you were single. And so you guys are both happily married now, and I salute both of you. I know both of your spouses, and I could say that you guys are both have your dream mate, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Now, for those of us that are single, I see we have some comments in the thread. Let's see. Charlotte says, hello, I'm interested in knowing more, but have to sign off now. Thank you, Tina. We will make sure that we get to Charlotte. She is a registered dietitian. She is a doctor. She is really committed to finances. So I'm going to make sure that we get her the information. She wants to know more, but she has to sign off. Also, we have Angela saying, hi, Jackie. Oh, I see. We have Jackie Joy. I'll call her JJ. She says, hello, Angela and Dr. Tina. Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for being here. It is a pleasure. It's an absolute honor to have you here. And so what I would like to do is I wanted to ask for the single ladies, as Beyonce says, single ladies. Hey, all the single ladies. Yes. Angela Moore says, great topic. Thank you, Angela from LinkedIn. So I have a question for singles, right? Because the reality is the married couples, they get to do extra work, right? They have help. But for us that are single, that don't have any help, what would you say, Corey, is the fastest way for single women to amass wealth at the same speed, if it's even possible, as a married couple where you have double the effort? So I would love for Dr. Rita to answer that, and I would love for Corey to answer that. And Dr. Rita, you can go first, and then, because ladies first, and then this is our platform, and then we'll turn it over to the master of Corey Chapman.
Okay, so for singles, I would have multiple streams of income. You don't have any hindrances. You don't have to worry about the kids. You don't have to worry about the husband. So you have more hours in the day to do that. When I was single, I tried to learn as much as I could about money, try to invest in different platforms. I wish I knew more about real estate, because I think I would have gotten to more into that. And I know a lot of young people now, they are, focusing on real estate and having those properties, because that's an excellent way. And also, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but even with life insurance, the index strategies, you can start these strategies as early as 15 days old. That is an excellent way to also build generational wealth, because it's tax free. You can able to accumulate a lot of wealth in it. You can maximize it, and you can borrow from it. You don't have to pay it back. You can actually be your own bank. If I knew that when I was younger, OMG, I know I would be a billionaire by now. So
and
that's
I'm sure you would too.
take on it.
Well, awesome. I appreciate you sharing. I'm sure you would too. And we're going to go back and talk about financial tenders and papers and things that you can do as well, because I am a total believer of whole life insurance. I have borrowed from my insurance policy, and I am building it so I can absolutely do more of that. So with that being said, we're going to turn it over to the Corey Chapman. Corey, take it away. Single ladies, ladies, hey.
Well, I think there's only so many hours in the course of the day, right? Time is the only thing that you can't get back. So I think kind of what Dr. Rita said is that you can maximize your time, because you don't have a lot of the nuances of dealing with relationship, children, kids, all the things that can pull away from you. So I think you can leverage your time to its best ability, right? You can be a master of your time management. And I think that's what's kind of can help you level the playing field, right? Because at the end of the day, you can work longer, work harder, and outproduce what other people can do that have to go through the rigmaroles of being in a relationship or dealing with kids or dealing with all the other things they can pull from you. So I agree with Dr. Rita on that one. I think time management and leveraging your time and maximizing your time is probably the best thing in the world that you could do. There's so much information out there right now, information age that we live in. It's so simple to gain knowledge right now. I mean, look at this. We're sitting on a forum for the last 40 minutes and just dropping knowledge about how to get better and how to become more wealthier. And it's just a simple conversation now. Before, it used to be you had to go down to your local library, you had to go pull books out, had to check them out. If it was checked out, you couldn't get it back in to the day it came back in. I mean, there was not a lot of resources. Now, this is something you can find anywhere between all the social medias out there. You can find knowledge, right? So again, apply the knowledge, get out there, leverage your time, and be disciplined about the time. So time management is everything to us, and that's kind of how we try to accelerate it and win out everybody else that's out there.
Wow, absolutely love it. I don't know about anyone else that's on this live, but I'm telling you, I am beseeching you to take copious notes, because the reality is these people are giving of their time. Matter of fact, speaking of husbands, speaking of spouses, and speaking of children, they both are making a sacrifice by being here, giving this knowledge, right? This keen sense of knowledge that they've developed over the years. They're giving us a shortcut. There's no learning curve. They've learned it, they've lived it, they implemented it, and they're building. And so I am asking you guys to tag someone, get them on this stream right now, get them in the Facebook group just so they can view this, tag them on LinkedIn, go to YouTube, youtube.com/Tina D. Lewis. Go to our Facebook group, Global Women Speakers 2023, Global Women Speakers 2023. It's right there on the screen, Global Women Speakers 2023. Matter of fact, it's going on the bottom of the screen. It literally has the Facebook, it has the Instagram. Go to Global Women Speakers 2023. You need to listen to this. I didn't say you should. I'm saying you must. In order to have something different, you must do something different. We can't just sit back and wish, want. And another thing, we can't just listen. We can't just read and not execute, because I'm telling you, there is no middle class. That's my belief. And speaking of middle class, Corey, I want you to take it away when it comes to statistics, when it comes to the numbers, because numbers don't lie, people do. And most people believe that something great is getting ready to happen, or there is no recession, or money is still the same. And there are some people that's not affected. at all. They don't even know because they've already made those investments. They've already taken that blueprint that you and Dr. Rita are talking about. And so I would love for you, Corey, to take it away with the statistics. Like, is there a middle class? Is everyone able to be a millionaire? Are there any people suffering in this world?
That's a far spectrum there. Okay, so yes, there are definitely people sacrificing in this world and that are suffering for 100%. Now, I couldn't give you any stats specifically, but what I can say is this. When it comes to succeeding at anything, I think it's all about your mindset. Your mind has got to be the powerfulest thing that you have. And if you can take advantage of figuring out exactly where you want to be at in life and do the work that it takes to get there, you can get there. I don't think there's anything holding anyone back. I think some people are successful and why some people aren't successful, it's the difference of what are you willing to do to become successful. That's it in a nutshell. I have a lot of people that come to me and say, Corey, well, how do you become wealthy, right? And I always say to them, you may not be willing to do what it takes to become wealthy, right? Because it takes work. It's time. It's not something that just happens overnight. You know, it's so funny because you look at these actor or actresses that seem to pop up out of nowhere and you're like, where were they? Right? But you didn't see all the hours that they were putting in behind the scenes, you know, taking that small bit part, working on stage, doing all the other things that were the extras and all that kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden they're the blockbuster hits, right? It's the work behind the scenes that no one gets to see. And I think that's what's going to make the difference between where you're at and how you want to get to that next level. It's all about who you are and knowing where you want to be at and putting the time in and being diligent enough to go out and make it happen. That's just where it's at. So everyone has a level playing field. Everyone can be there. You just have to do the work to be able to get into the game.
Period. Mic drop. That's just the reality. You know,
sure it is.
Like literally, you said it in a nutshell, and we really could end this right now because what you and Dr. Rita have shared thus far has been nothing but riveting. That's the reality. That's truly the reality. And so the second thing is that, you know, you have people like Eric Thomas, right? I love Eric Thomas. And for those of you who know how to know Eric Thomas, he is the hip hop preacher, but he always says that, you know, he's not smarter than anyone else. He always says he wants to be better than the Tony Robbins, right? He wants to be that. And he says, no one will outwork him. No one will outwork him. And so listening to him during my workout, listening to him, you know, just walking down the street, listening to him periodically, him and other high achievers, super high achievers, ultra successful people got me getting up. I started at 6 and then I'm like, you know what? I need to get up earlier. Started getting me up at 5. And when I first started getting up at 5, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I awake? People will call me around 9 and I'll be asleep. They're like, oh, you're not out the bed yet? I'm like, babe, I've been up since 5. This is a nap. This is a nap, sweetheart. Right. And then I love the army, the military, the armed services. Their slogan was, we do more before 5 or before 8, before you do in your whole day. And that's exactly what I adopted. And so no one will outwork me. I believe that. I know that for a fact. And so I'm glad that you guys share it with us. That listen, if you want wealth, if you want to amass wealth, if you want to have more, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. It may not be going to that club, that lounge, that birthday party, that girls trip. You may not be able to do all of that. You may have to say no. You may have to choose which one. You have to say, if it's not on a Wednesday, I can't go. So you only could go to activities, events that are on Wednesdays. You have to have a plan. And we all know that if you do not plan, you plan to fail, right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, and I say that to myself because you said, don't look at it like a budget, look at it like a plan. And I remember hearing Pauline talk about it yesterday. She said, you know what? You have a financial plan. And so now I'm like, you know what? She's right. I'm going to have a financial plan. And as you guys are talking, as I'm sitting here listening and taking copious notes, I wrote financial plan. And the first thing I said is to pay off that Discover card. It's the smallest card I have. It's $5,000. I'm like, I'm going to pay that off. It's no reason why it shouldn't be paid off. I could just pay it off right now in full. But the reality is I need to develop that muscle where if I pay it off, I don't use the card anymore. I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to do anything extreme like that. I'm going to develop the muscle and the discipline to not use it. Number two is I thank you, Corey. I thank you, Dr. Rita, for giving us the ladies that are listening who are single. Hey, all the single ladies. Hey, all the single ladies. All the single, saved, and sanctified. Single, satisfied, and sanctified. All of the above. Those that are listening, he just shared some strategies. Dr. Rita shared a blueprint on how we can amass wealth. Matter of fact, Global Women Speakers, we're doing some amazing things in the industry because we're going to buy a hotel. I'm going to have Airbnbs or short-term rentals in other countries. So when someone from Global Women Speakers travels there, they can stay there for free. That is the ultimate goal. There's so many things that are happening behind the scene. And so Corey and Dr. Rita, here are a few questions that's coming in from the audience. I want to go ahead and ask you those. Number one, they said this one is for Corey since he doesn't mind how much money his wife spends. I love it. I love it already, and maybe they didn't, I read it with an attitude, right? So I probably didn't read it in their tone, but that's my tone, right? So this question is for Corey. So Corey, does your wife have her own bank account and her own money, or is it all shared?
Good question. Good question. She definitely has her own accounts, and I have my own accounts, and we have a household account as well. So yeah, so that's how it's broken down.
Wow. Okay, so you guys have your own account, but you also have a joint account, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so if you don't mind, if it's not too personal, what does a household the household expenses, do they come out of your account or the joint account?
Come out of the joint account. So our personal accounts are just for us to do personal stuff, right? She wants to buy me something, wants to take me out for dinner, or vice versa. It's our own personal accounts, right? Whereas the household account covers just that, the household and all the items that go along with the household. So we put a certain amount of money into the household account every month, and that household account covers everything, and she pretty much manages all that. And at the end of the day, her money is her money, and what I do with my money is my money, right? And we just have a certain dollar amount that we put away into our joint accounts to keep the household going.
Wow, I love that. That's powerful. Corey, listen, ladies, if you are watching this, you need to literally watch it again and take notes. This is so powerful. Corey and Rita, you guys are not dropping gems. You guys are totally dropping the entire mine where you can go in and get as many diamonds, many nuggets, many gems, many sapphires, as possible. Wow, I love it. And so, you know what? I like that. You said her money is her money, your money is your money, and then you also guys have a joint account as well. That's probably why I'm not married, because I was looking for my money is my money and his money was my money. But I love that. Okay, here's some more questions. This one is for Rita. Did you marry your husband for money?
Absolutely not. I was already making money when I met him. So I'm grateful. I'm sure he's grateful that I was able to bring something to the table, and he as well. So definitely not.
Awesome. And then, so I'm going to add to that question. I'm going to say that in the event that, if someone has a husband that's highly supportive, someone that contributes to their goals, that supports their dreams, it has nothing to do with them just because they have the money, right? Because
exactly,
have the money but not have the heart.
Exactly,
they can have the money but not have the heart. And so if they have money, their money could just be their money. It does not have to become your money. It has to take a man after God's own heart that will follow the law or follow his desires to make his woman happy, to be the head of the household, to provide for his children and his wife. So I'm going to step in on that because Rita is my sister. I know her husband. And so I'm going to say that's my partake on it. Yeah, that's my partake. So the next question is, when it comes to buying a house, do you believe that everyone should own a house, or should a home is not an asset. Okay, so I think they're saying, should everyone get a home, and is a home still an asset and not a liability? Rita, over to you.
Okay. I don't think everyone should buy a home, but I believe home can be an asset where it can also, you can build wealth in it, and it also can be passed on from generation to generation. Um, well, with the home, it's responsibility. Are you up to the responsibility?
Wow.
It,
True story. I love it. Corey, over to you.
I think I'm going to go back to Robert Kiyosaki's explanation of what is an asset. I think if it puts money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it takes money out of your pocket, it's a liability, right?
mm-hmm.
So I think people buy homes and typically buy homes and pay off homes because they think it's an asset, but ultimately it may not be that. And I think at the end of the day, you can leverage money, right? And I'll give an example. Let's say if I had a house that was worth $1 million and I owed it free and clear and it's worth $1 million on paper and my equity's got $1 million in it. All of a sudden the market goes down for whatever reason. I lose half of that equity all in a matter of a month because the market dropped down. I just lost $500,000 of my money just because of the value of the markets went down. Whereas if I had that same amount of money in liquid asset form into an investment, something I can get to, savings account, bank account, something of that nature, I still have the $500,000, or in this case, $1 million that I can do something with. So at the end of the day, I can leverage that $1 million, put that $1 million into something that generates me 4 or 5% rate of return, and now I'm making $50,000 a year off that $1 million. So it depends. I think houses are typically good for family, right? Support, the ability to, feel comfort and have your home because you have an emotional attachment to it. But I think at the end of the day, I think houses are not necessarily assets. I think they're liabilities. And I think you need to leverage it in order to turn it into an asset.
Mic drop. I'm getting ready to run around this hotel. Matter of fact, I'm going to run around my hotel room, do a somersault and a backflip. This is so explosive. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to chime in on that. One of my mentors, a billionaire mentor, told me, Tina, because everyone was buying houses, getting married, buying houses. And I'm like, I'm going to buy a house. And he was like, why? Tell me why. And when he said why, I really couldn't give him an answer. It wasn't because I wanted one. It was because that's what everyone was doing. And I'm like, well, I should get a house. And he said, Tina, think about it. Is that what you really want? And I said, no, without even thinking. I'm like, no, I don't. And I don't want a house. I don't have any small children. A house makes you geographically restricted. And those of you who know me know I do not like being still. I live on a plane. I love it. I'm in Spain right now, in Madrid. I was here for a conference. I just came from Paris. Before that, I was in Dubai. Before that, I can go on and on. And I'm going to go more places. I'm actually sitting here in my hotel room with my sister. I call her Professor T. She is a professor at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. We're sitting here planning South Africa for Global Women Speakers. We are going August 30th to September 2nd. And I can tell you this, my penthouse in Marina del Rey is $5,500. $5,500. And you can keep your judgment to yourself. I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't pay that. Yeah, because you don't have it. And some of you are like, oh, I wouldn't pay it even if I had it. That's your choice. It's okay. I'm talking about what I do. And I'm even thinking about giving up that because I don't need to pay that. I'd rather live somewhere for $2,000 or $2,500 and take the extra money, put it away in a Roth RA, an investment, or use it to travel. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, the world truly is my oyster. I love travel. I love meeting other people. I love tasting other foods. I love speaking other languages. And so it really is up to you. It really is up to you. My little thing came off. It really is up to you what you want in your life. Don't follow the masses. If you listen to Grant Cardone, he has a different perspective as well. Robert Kiyosaki, his wife, Kim Kiyosaki, wrote a book called The Rich Woman. Rich Woman. That is the name of the book, Rich Woman. And so you get to decide what you want to do with your money. you get to decide which zip code you want to live in. And I would rather own a hotel. I would rather have an apartment building. And so I am on the track to owning that apartment building or owning that hotel. That's what's important to me. And Rita, you're absolutely correct. Real estate helps create legacies. But because of the indoctrination of everyone has to have a house, you get people going out buying big homes and they're single or they only have 2 kids, but they want a 6 bedroom. And what's happening is they've lost it all. And Corey, so I'm glad you shared that analogy because homes can be an asset, but for the majority, they're liabilities. And so, with that being said, on to the third question. The third question is, let me get my paper. Let me look on my phone. All right. The third, wait, do we have any questions in the chat? Let me go ahead and go back to the chat, see if we have any questions. All righty. Corey, you've been absolutely amazing. When you came on, you told me that you only had 15 minutes. You've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm enthralled. I am enthralled and I appreciate you. So, Corey, Dr. Rita and I are going to take it from here. But what I would love for you is to give us literally, like, give us some departing action steps. And especially, you can give them to me. Give them to me. Because the women that are listening, maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're not ready for it. But I'm ready and I want it raw. So I would love for you to give me some steps that I can take right now, just from the things that I shared with you. I haven't come to your office. We haven't sat down, but I share some things publicly because I want to be an open book. Like I want people to know exactly, what we do, who we are. Like I got to get it together. I got to get it together. For those of you who have your budget, you have, your portfolio, you're like my friend Althea Moses, if that's you, then fantastic. I'm saying, Corey, help your sister out. So give me 5 things that I could do that I should do based off of what you've heard, because I want people to book an appointment with you. I want them to book a consultation. I want them to come into your office and come see you. I want them to trust you with their assets, because this is the question. This is like totally off kill. Like, why do we trust people with our money, but we call them a broker? Why? They're broker. They're broker. Like, why is it called broker? I've never been able to understand that or to get over that. We call people brokers and we trust them with our money, but they're broker. Like, I can't get it. Anyway, so Corey, give me a 5-step if you can right now. If not, then just give us some departing words. So Corey, over to you.
Sure. Yeah, you're a handful, okay? So, if I was going to give you any kind of insight off the top, first and foremost, I would take out a piece of paper and jot down where all your money is going. The biggest concept and the biggest thing that you got to figure out is where money goes. And most people really don't understand where their money goes, right? At the end of the day, we spend money, we use credit cards, we use ATM cards, debit cards, things of that nature, and we don't track our money, right? And unfortunately, by not tracking your money, you'd be surprised how much money starts to add up over time. That $20 at Starbucks, or that $20 over at the restaurant, or that, eating out $15 here, a cup of coffee there, it starts to add up over time. So understanding where you're spending your money at and where it's going is probably the number one thing you can start to work on first. Once you've kind of got a good key of that and know exactly what's kind of going on, and you can run an average over the next, 3 to 4 weeks time frame and see what you're really spending money on, then it's now time to figure out, okay, what is the game plan of how much income and assets are coming in, right? So as Dr. Rita said, multiple streams of income. I love that, right? Whether it be side hustles, real estate, your live job, babysitting, whatever it takes, right? Whatever is going to give you some income coming in, see where that money is coming from. And the ultimate goal is to make sure that your income outpaces your outflow, right? If you got more expenses coming in than what money is coming out, then you got a problem, right? So ultimately, our goal is to make sure that our cash flow is always going to outpace what we're bringing or what we're spending out of our pocket. So that's the number 2 things that I think are most important when it comes to planning your process.
I love that, Corey. And so just to reiterate, hi, you guys. Hi, you guys. Can you see me now? Okay, let me take my hair down. Yes, we're in my hotel. We're having a blast. We're going over Johannesburg. It's going to be explosive. But Corey, what I have, you said two things, but I actually took down four, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Number one was, where's my money going? Tina, where's your money going? And I have this little app, so it shows me where the majority of my spending is.
Mhm.
And also, you said keep a 3 to 4 week average. That's number two. Number three, the income and assets. So, what are my income? What is the money that is coming in? What's the influx versus the outflux? Income
Right.
versus assets. And the fourth thing that you left me with was that my income has to be greater than the outflow. And so you thought you only shared two, but there's something that happens when you truly listen intently as well as take copious notes. So, Corey, I know you just walked in the door from your family. You took an hour out of your family's time and you didn't just share it with me, you shared it with global women speakers. And because of that, I'm grateful. Thank you for gracing us
Thank you guys. I
on
appreciate your
Sunday.
time as always.
You are absolutely incredible. You guys reach out to Corey. Let's go ahead and put his information down. I want to make sure that if you have his all of his contacts, that you have his website, that you have his email, because I want you to be able to literally reach out. There is nothing like having someone that has expertise, literally has expertise in the field, not just graduated from school and found out about it, not someone that just read and that's all he can talk about is what he read, but someone that's literally passionate about the success of other people. It is on the screen now. I want you to actually take a look at that. It's efcwealthgroup.com, efcwealthgroup.com, efcwealthgroup.com. Corey, what does EFC stand for?
Elite Financial Center.
Elite Financial Center. Listen, if you want to be among the elite, you have to go to Elite Financial Center so you can be amass wealth and be amongst the elite. Thanks again, Corey. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm so grateful and honored that you are my brother, and you just prove it time and time and time again. And so you already know you're my brother from another mother. I love you and Delilah, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Have a good night.
Be well, guys. Take care. Be blessed.
Talk about beast mode. Talk about beast mode. Man, man, man. Man. So, really, what do you have to say about the Corey Chapman?
Amazing. You know, a lot of people say they want help, they need help, they want advice. And a lot of times they say, you know what, I want somebody who's just like me, who looks like me, right? To give me that advice. Well, you had him on the show today. So if you want advice and you want things that you can do and implement in your life, Global Women Speakers has the platform, and they also have the guest speakers that help you get there. So outstanding.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Rita Renee. That's just the reality, right? We're tapping into, I'm calling in favors, right? I'm calling in favors. I'm getting people that support me to support us because that's what it's all about. We're tapping into each other's networks. And so, Dr. Rita, I thank you for being a premier member. I thank you for coming out and volunteering. So, I want to know about your experience with Global Women Speakers in Las Vegas. First of all, on a sponsored ticket, did you pay for airfare?
I did not pay for airfare.
Did you pay for a hotel?
I did not pay for a hotel.
No, you didn't pay for airfare or a hotel, and you left
Neither.
North Carolina to go to Las Vegas, Nevada?
All the way to North Carolina. It was amazing, Dr. Tina. Thank you again for the opportunity and the privilege to be there to serve. And that's what I think I love most about Global Women Speakers, that they have a heart to serve. We're lighthearted women who want to make an impact, but we want to make sure that we help others and we serve. It's a humbling experience to be around, you know, NFL players, whether they're retired or not, NBA players, all those different type of players. But what I noticed they all had in common is that they love people and they were there for a common cause. Thank you so much for that great opportunity.
Hey, you know what? You're welcome. And I love the fact that some of them are open to allowing a woman to show them where to put their money that they've amassed through this. And so I can tell you the best is yet to come. We have other places that we're going to go. In addition to that, we have maybe like 4 players that are like, okay, Tina, is she real? What do you want me to do? And I said, I know what I want you to do. And we're going to do it immediately. So, Rita, we're going to do a financial webinar, and it's going to be for athletes. It's going to be for athletes and those who have, a million plus, so we can show them where to put their money. And so this is going to be phenomenal. The best is yet to come. And like I always say, membership has its privileges.
Absolutely.
So what was your biggest takeaway from the golf team? I mean, we flew in.
Oh, yes. I can so many. Just to be on the golf carts and riding around and, speaking with the different players and the different vendors there. But my most memorable is sitting beside Icky Wood, who, I'm saying myself, I'm nobody, but to him have a conversation with me, I'm knowing about his cause. I'm knowing that his son passed away at the age of 10, 12 years ago. I'm understanding about his passion. I'm hearing about his children and his grandchildren. We have an intimate, conversation like brother and sister. I will never forget that. Never forget that. And the fact to have my mentor, you have Dr. Tina D. Lewis there, and to introduce and to expose me to all of these people, and then see other global women speakers there as well. It was amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming all the way from North Carolina to Las Vegas to participate, to represent global women speakers. We had Sinead Tenen drive all the way from Arizona to be there. We had life coach John. You guys were all amazing, even though I can say, somebody was driving reckless. I'm not saying any names. I'm not saying any names, but they don't know how to drive a golf cart. And we had some vendors on the field, and all I'm going to say is we sampled their products. I'm not going to say what their products were, but we sampled their products.
And to meet your beautiful daughter, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I really am like overprotective from my family, my inner circle. And so I consider you a sister. And so
likewise,
you met a lot of people that I hold sacred to my heart. And I don't just open it to anyone, right? You're not only a member of Global Women Speakers, but you're also family. And I always say, for me, I meet a lot of people because I've never met a stranger, right? I never met a stranger. So I meet a lot of people, and some of them I just meet and they fall to the wayside. Some people I meet and they truly become business partners, right? I do business. I'm going to introduce you to my business and you could just say no, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak across the globe. I'm going to give you the opportunity to create passive income. I'm going to give you opportunity because that's what someone did for me. That's what I needed as a teenage mom. And so some people just become business partners and they stay there. Some people transition from business partners to friends and they just stay a friend. Some people transition from friend to family. And Rita, you've crossed that threshold. So I look forward to us building multiple 7-figure businesses together, traveling around the globe. And we got to bring my brother Benjamin.
Absolutely.
All right. So Rita, last question. It is what, 6:30 on the East Coast
here.
Yeah. So 6:25 on the East Coast, 3:25 on the West Coast. And I promised that it was only going to be for an hour because I'm still in Spain. And you guys know what? It is 12:25 in Spain. We are 9 hours difference. And as I said, I'm sitting here with my sister from Johannesburg, South Africa. We are doing business at 12:30. That's what we do, right? And she just, come over here and introduce yourself, sister. Get over here. And so we're talking and she's like, you know what? I can help you. I want to help you. And I said, so how can you help, right? How can you help? She said, I just love what you're doing. How can I help? Well, membership has its privilege. Number one, like you can become a member and it is a paid membership. Number two, she says, you know what? I have a network of organizations around the world that I've amassed for how long? How many years? You can talk. I can hear you.
22 years.
22 years. Oh, wow. So for 22 years, she's been collecting these women organizations and doing business with them. And she wants to bring that to Global Women Speakers. Why? Why would you want to bring that to Global Women Speakers?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope you're good. Okay, so my name is Tinuade Hojo from University of South Africa. I just met this phenomenal woman. We've been looking at her from afar, so it's quite an honor to meet with her. And I think it's time that people from Africa start learning, how things have been done from the global rev, and actually see how we can actually work together and integrate um, in empowering women economically, globally, all around the world. So it's such an opportunity, and we look forward to learning from all of you, and you know, see how we can train and engage African women in order to ensure that every single woman is empowered, you know, within the global sphere. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, I love it.
She is so awesome. I love her. I love her. So, I mean, for me to meet her and for her to say, you know what, I have to have you. You're coming to. I mean, I'm having a conference and we can partner. Like she didn't ask for me to come and just be a speaker. She said, I want to partner with global women speakers. What do I have to do? I'm like, I create platforms for my speakers. So they got to come too. She was like, oh no, all of you, I'm gonna send you a letter. What do you need? It has to be official. And some people may need sponsorships. Like she's like, let's go for it. Whatever we need. And so that's the essence of global women speakers. That is the essence of what we do. That's what we provide. And so I just wanted you to just share, tell us not just you inviting global women speakers to be a part of your conference and you wanting to be an ambassador for global women speakers, but let's talk about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so you see, she actually put me into a spot, which, yeah, I hope I'm able to pass the test. Okay, so like I said, my name is Tino Adeojo. I'm actually an academia. But aside from that, I've been working with civil societies, women institutions, engaging with different women associations, over the years, trying as much as possible to ensure that African women are empowered. So I have this continental research hub where we have different women of all different spheres of life, where we come together to ensure that we contribute, proficiently towards ensuring that women are empowered within the continent. So we've done different programs in terms of dialogues, in terms of conferences, in terms of strategies, initiatives, and not just formulating programs, but actually ensuring that we're actually a group that informs policy. And that was what I was talking to Dr. Tina about here, that we want to stop talking. We've been talking too long. We have beautiful policies that have been written in different countries, but now we want action-based strategies. We want to inform policies in all these states to ensure that women actually get what they deserve. It goes on and on. UN
Right.
Women says it takes 132 years for women to be empowered, for us to reach gender
32
parity.
years?
132 years. 132.
132 years for
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tell them, what do you do at the university?
So at the university, I'm the head of Ed Unit of Pan-African Women Studies Unit at the Institute of Pan-African Studies and Conversation, University of Johannesburg. And the unit try as much as possible to work with different women institute associations and all that. We serve as a research hub to ensure that we assist women, and we also serve as a base when it comes to engaging in terms of dialogues, conferences, and all that, to ensure that the voices are being heard and it gets to the right people, at the right time. And yeah, I work on different postgraduate students in terms of teaching, learning, and engagement, and in terms of research. So yeah, So I do a lot. I wear many caps. I also work with the Commonwealth Women Business Network in Africa, part of the board directors. Worked with African Association of Political Science. It goes on and on. So, but try as much as possible to ensure that we create influence. So now I'm actually the ambassador of Global Women Speakers in South Africa. I'm honored to be given that position, to be representing you all. And I look forward to our future engagements together and future collaborations, which I believe that I believe a lot in impacting lives for purpose. And I think there's a reason for meeting you all. Thank you so much. Have a great evening all the way from Spain here.
Yes, we're in Spain. Great job. Oh, this is awesome. There are so many things that are happening behind the scene that we want to absolutely share, but we're going to hold off. We're inking some things. All I can say is it's going to be explosive. That's all I have to say. It's going to be explosive. So mark your calendars, August 30th through September 2nd. We will be in Johannesburg at the University of Johannesburg. Yes, so Global Women Speakers, yes, membership has its privileges. We are going to have the best of the best speakers, and we're definitely going to have excursions and activities. We're going to learn the language. We're going to go to the safari. We're going to go to other countries, not other countries, sorry, other countries. That's in South Africa. Yeah, Cape Town and Pretoria and some other places, but we're not going to tell you all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that it's 12:30 here in Spain. I have activities for tomorrow, but I had to show up because I said that we will do, let me just show you my face. Okay, so it is late. I still have on my workout clothes. Yes, I had to get it in because I had a tailored suit made and I have to lose 2 inches off of my waist. Why would I spend money to have her make it 2 inches smaller, right? So that means I literally must, get this in. And I just wanted to make sure that I showed up, right? Because I said every single Sunday, we're going to have Sunday Speaker Series, and I am committed to that. I'm also committed to your success. We have some amazing success stories going on in Global Women Speakers. There's a young lady who talks about education. Now she has her own platform sharing her story. She has a client. She's getting ready to get more clients. She's been invited to partner with other people doing other things. Not only that, she's sold product here. We had Kiani all the way from Australia coming in virtually. And now she's invited to South Africa as well because of who she is and what she shares. Dr. Rita became a part of Global Women Speakers. And not only that, she's like her network has expanded drastically because of it. She's been interviewed. She's been around, celebrities and just people who have money. She has a financial service, and we're going to feed that service because she's a part of Global Women Speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I had to take off, my hair is in a bun. It's midnight here, but because we are authentic, because one of our core values is community and collaboration, I could at least take this off. So y'all want to see my big head. Put some of this hair around my big head. I'm just saying. There we go. Yes. So I really just wanted to pop in, show you my face. I'm tired. We have events tomorrow. I will be home probably Tuesday or Wednesday. But I wanted to just come in and say thank you from the top of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you for chiming in. Dr. Rita, thank you for jumping in. I love you sharing the stage with Corey. It's all about different perspectives. It's about making sure that we give our audience, that we give the Global Women Speakers audience key, real, unadulterated, factual techniques, strategies, blueprints that they can really do something with. I don't want it to be just another motivational, everybody gets excited and do absolutely nothing. I don't want it to be one of those things where we tell you what you want to hear, but I want to make sure that it's something that you can chew on, something you have to digest. And so, Rita, in closing, I would love for you to give us just 3 steps. Like Corey gave me 4 items that I am going to take action on immediately. And I would love for you to do exactly the same. Go ahead, Rita, take it away.
Yeah.
Give us
No
3
problem. Thank you
that we
so much.
can reset.
The first thing is press the reset. I don't care what you've done before. Today is a new day. You can start today. Number 2, invest in yourself. You're worth it and you have worth. So begin investing in yourself. And then the third thing is find someone, whether it's a financial coach, a financial advisor, a financial professional, to help you along this journey. None of us can make it without a coach in our lives. So thank you, Dr. Tina.
Woo! There you have it. Reset, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. It is not how you start, it's how you finish. So reset. Number 2, invest in yourself. You want that bag? Go buy that bag. Go buy the bag. Go buy the bag. I bought my bag. Rita bought her bag. We went to Paris. We bought the bag, right? So invest in yourself. And I'm just kidding about the bag, but I'm saying if that's what you want, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself with personal development. Invest in yourself by hiring a coach, a mentor. Invest in yourself by paying the fees of professional organizations like Global Women Speakers and other organizations that can help you, 1, increase your network because it increases your net worth. Number 2, it can give you that knowledge. It can give you that skill set, right? It can give you that toolkit, that blueprint, that strategy to do the things that you want to know how to do. Invest in those courses to speak a different language. Just simply invest in yourself. You do it with your hair, you do it with your nails, you do it with everything else. Why not invest in financial education? Why not invest in travel? Why not? And you can fill in the blank. You deserve it. Invest in yourself. And number 3, she said, hire a mentor, get a coach, get an expert, get a master. I can tell you, I have a saying called NODIA, N-O-D-I-A, N-O-D-I-A. No one does it alone. No one does it alone. Think about the world's greatest, and you can fill in the blank, the world's greatest athlete. Think about the world's greatest architect, the world's greatest, and you can fill in the blank, the world's whatever, the best of the best. Think about them. They didn't do it alone. In my humble opinion, Kobe was an amazing athlete. He was an amazing superstar, but he had a coach. I know Dr. Rita is brilliant, but I know she has a coach. And I'm honored to be one of them in a certain capacity. I know Corey has a coach. Corey is a multi-millionaire, helping people generate millions of dollars on a daily basis. He has a coach. And so find you that coach, that mentor, that consultant, and literally, ladies, take the information that you learned here tonight, that you learned here today, whether you're here live or catching the replay, I honor you. I support you. And I just want to thank you for being here on our 17th Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers, all the way from Spain. I am elated. Gracias. Te aprecio mucho. I said thank you, and I appreciate you. This is our 17th series. I cannot get over it. I'm just blown away at what's happening. And I can tell you this, ladies, there will be people that come in your circle with the intention to destroy, with the intention to take what you have and not give anything in return. There will be people that will ravish through your network with ill intention. There will be people that come and duplicate. They're going to duplicate exactly what you're doing, but they can steal the blueprint. They can steal all of those things. They can plagiarize your papers, your descriptions, even your entire program. And that's okay. Because you know what they can't take? They can't take your favor. You see, for me, Global Women Speakers is not just another business that I started, because I started multiple businesses. No. This is an assignment. This is an assignment. I've been commissioned to do this. And that's why God brings people like my sister Tinyawe from South Africa to say she wants to be an ambassador for Global Women Speakers. I'm like, wow, South Africa, God. Like, I didn't plan that. I'm going to Nigeria in October. He planned that too. We're in Spain. He planned that too. Ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, whatever you want to do it anyway. Do it anyway. Don't think your industry is oversaturated. Don't think no one's going to pay you. Don't think those thoughts. I'm going to tell you, if it is your assignment and you had that conversation with God, or he had that conversation with you, I'm going to tell you to go for it. That it may look dismal in the beginning. It may look like no one's listening. It may look like no one's watching. No one may be joining you. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. And people are going to lie to you as well, but you don't lie to yourself. People will not believe in you. Just don't let yourself be one of them. And here's the deal. If you do not believe in yourself, I believe in you. So borrow my belief. I believe in you. Borrow my belief. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm just stoked out of my mind. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Tina G. Lewis. That is my story, and I am sticking to it. I really appreciate you like no other. This is the beginning of the second quarter, right? This is April. We're going into May. Starting in January of 2023, we've been here every single Sunday. Every single Sunday. And in my humble opinion, we've had the best of the best. And there's so many more to come that's in the pipeline. You want to be here next Sunday because it's the first Sunday of May. We're launching some incredible things. And one of them is, drum roll, please. I'm not telling you. See you next week. My name is Dr. Tina G. Lewis. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless your dreams. This episode of Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers, is a wrap. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Mwah. Goodbye. Adios.